Welcome to Greggles TV Daily. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today's story is all about the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I'm in my minivan in Pittsburgh still, so we got a little bit more with this where you'll be seeing me on like this for the next couple of days. And this one is interesting because of the fact that we've got a benchmark for the S25 Ultra, and you get 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is amazing. It's tons of RAM. And one of the things that you can see about this is that, first of all, these scores are intense. Because, you know, with an 8 Gen 3, you'll get about 6,500 on the multi-core score, and on the single core, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 2,200 or something like that. These destroy that. The 8 Gen 4 is really powerful. 3,000 on the single core and 9,000 on the multi-core. These scores are getting better and better, like increasingly better and better. Very good scores on there. But I think the bigger takeaway on this, and remember, this is an S25 Ultra, not the regular 25 or the 25 Plus, and it's still only having 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I wanted to talk about that because I don't think all is lost, meaning that it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be the only variant of it. It might be, but it might not be. And if it is, let's talk about that part. If it is it the end of the world? No, not by any means. Is it disappointing? Totally. Especially when we have their competition doing way more in that space, from Google Pixel and OnePlus, and you could probably think almost every other premium Chinese phone brand. 16 gigs has been the norm. Samsung has had a 16 gig RAM phone. I think it was the S10. Was it the S10, whatever it was, Ultra, Plus, Pro, whatever the hell it was called back then? That had like 1 terabyte of storage and 16 gigs of RAM. Or maybe it was the 20. I don't freaking remember. But regardless, we've been there, and we've been to the mountaintop, and now they're not going back to the mountaintop. That is very disappointing. I was expecting 16 gigs of RAM, and it doesn't have it. 16 gigs of RAM would be great for the longevity of the device, really. Now, let's go to the other side. Let's play the devil's advocate. You know, it doesn't need it. Let's be honest. It still runs really well. But then beyond that, it's also could be a 16 gig RAM version that just hasn't been benchmarked. That could be the other piece of this puzzle. So I don't want to get too hooked up on it, but I do want to say that there is a version that does have 12 gigabytes of RAM, and we will know very soon almost all the specs within the next couple of months, if not sooner, who knows. But right now it's looking like 12 gigs of RAM as the top. We'll stick with that. The only 12 gigs of RAM will be on the S25 Ultra. It's just crazy that they're letting Google pass them up in terms of that feature, in terms of OnePlus and a lot of other companies as well. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. But these scores are amazing. You got to give it that at the very least. We'll see you down the road. Peace.